So many communities on Skool struggle to grow, to get more members, to increase the MRR. And I think there's three underrated reasons for why this happens. I don't see too many people talking about this, but I think a lot of new community owners focus on the wrong things when they're getting started, and I'm guilty of this as well. I also have a community of over 1,000 members, and I speak frequently with community owners, so I see how people are spending their time, and I feel like in most cases, when you're just getting started, that time is spent in the wrong places, the places that don't give you the leverage that you need to grow your community. So I'm going to go over those three things, and then I'm going to cover what I think people should be focusing on instead, and what led to me growing my Skool community. So I think there's three main things that people focus heavily on, but it's just not the right use of their time when they're getting started. So the first place that I see people spending far too much time on is their about page, right? So I'm not saying that you shouldn't optimize your about page. You should. It is very important. But once your about page is optimized to the point where if you have a free group, you're converting at around 20%, and if you have a paid group, anywhere between 1 to 4%, leave your about page alone. You don't have to tweak something every time someone drops a new about page framework or makes a new suggestion for you, or you want to add more images, remove images, change your VSL. Like, you are just being neurotic and changing too much. And I did this a lot when I first started as well. I made so many changes to my about page until I was like, you know what? I'm converting at, I think at the time it was 18%, and I'm just going to leave my about page alone. Eventually, it started converting at 24%, and that's because I was targeting different people, but it had nothing to do with the small little tweaks I was making on my about page. I was changing everything at once, never knew what worked and what didn't work, and because of that, I wasn't able to accurately test. And I just wanted to call this out because I know people change their about pages frequently. They spend a lot more time on it than they need to. I would argue that there's probably only 2 times that you need to change your about page. The first time is, of course, if something is broken, you're not converting anywhere near the baseline. So for a free group, you're converting like under 15%, then okay, that's broken and it's time to fix it. The other time that I would make changes to my about page is if I'm changing my offer. The next thing that I see people spend a lot of time trying to optimize is the amount of activity or engagement that they get in the group. And I wanted to call this out because when I first started as well, I thought I needed, everyone that joined my community needed to leave a post and write a comment and do all these things. They need to level up. And yes, it is important. Like, there's stats that Skool has to show that people that level up, they stay longer. And if they're staying longer and it's a paid group, then that means they're paying for longer. So all of that is great. However, I think there's too much emphasis on trying to force people to engage, right? Sometimes communities just have lurkers, and that's okay. I know people in my group, like, that have been paying, they're premium members or they join on the standard tier, and they don't engage much, but they've been paying month after month, and they just like to consume the content. They read the posts, they might send me some DMs, or maybe they don't interact at all, but these are still paying members, and forcing people to engage could just be uncomfortable, right? It's like going to a party and someone's trying to force you to dance. It's weird. You don't want to go through that. The third thing that I want to mention is courses. I think people spend too much time building courses or just building things in general for the Skool community before anyone asks for them. Like, if you're not launching your community, or if you're not driving traffic to your community, you're not trying to grow it because you haven't finished this 10-hour long course, I just don't think it's a good use of your time, because you might be disappointed to find out that people that join your community, they don't even want a course, or maybe they don't want the course from you. Maybe they just want to speak with you on live calls. Maybe they just like interactions with you where you send Loom videos. Like, I think delaying the growth of your community so that you can build out a course is just not the best approach to take. Now, that's not to say you should have your classroom completely empty. You can add some things, but I believe that the better approach is to draw traffic to your Skool community and then build based on demand that comes from your members, right? So if you have something that frequently comes up in your group, whether it's questions or maybe something that always happens on all of your calls that you have in your community, and then you want to build a short little module on that, then cool. Everything I just mentioned is important. You want to have a good about page. You want to have activity in your group. You don't want a dead group. And having something in your classroom is definitely good to start with. But all of those things are nowhere near as important as these next 2 key things, in my opinion. And based on what I've seen, these are by far the highest leverage tasks that you can be focused on when you're just starting your community. The first thing is trust. Trust is so important. You want to do whatever you can to build up as much trust as possible. You'll do this with like social proof, testimonials, whatever you have to prove to people that you can deliver the outcome that you're promising is so important. Like, you could have the best offer in the world. You could promise someone if they join your Skool community, they'll make $1 million in 24 hours. That sounds great, but if no one believes you, if there's no trust there, if you haven't been able to prove that you can make someone a millionaire overnight, then no one is going to pay to join your Skool community. Now, if it's free, yeah, maybe sure, but trust is everything. And I've seen the most gains in my community when I display as much trust as possible. So do whatever you need to collect as much social proof as you can so that people are able to believe you and then take you up on your offer. And the last thing is, of course, traffic. getting as many of the right people as possible to see your school community's about page. You could have the prettiest about page in the world and the nicest classroom and all this stuff inside your community, but only 10 people see your about page, you are not going to grow at the rate that you want. You need to get as many people as possible to see your about page. You want to focus on whatever you have to do to bring attention from another source to your about page. That source could be, you can use meta ads, you can use YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever platform you want to use. Because nothing matters if no one knows that your school community exists. Priority number one is to let people know about your group. So obviously I'm brand new to YouTube. I have no idea what I'm doing with these videos. I focus on growing school communities with meta ads, so I don't know how to end this, but if you want to subscribe, I'll be uploading weekly.